NTA International News.
To collaborate with Chad to tackle insurgency. Amnesty International report on terrorism. President Muhammadu Buhari promises to act appropriately. And 2015 voter education program under scrutiny. Hello, welcome to NTA International News. I'm Nancy Godi Angunihu. We begin with Nigeria's foreign relations. President Muhammadu Buhari rounded off his official visit to Niger Republic with a gala night held in his honor by the government of Niger Republic. The president also used the visit to interact with the Nigerian community in that country. State House correspondent Shegu Lawole reports.
The Nigerian community had a rare opportunity as the first set of people in the diaspora to receive President Muhammadu Buhari after assuming the mantle of leadership in Nigeria.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has arrived in N'Djamena, the capital of Chad, in continuation of his official visit to Niger and Chad. The president on arrival was received by the country's President Idris Deby. President Buhari, accompanied by 4 northern governors, had a guard of honor mounted for him as part of an airport welcome reception. The visit is to further strengthen the cordial relations that exist between the two countries. Part of the discussion during the visit is not only to appreciate Chad for its efforts assisting Nigeria in tackling insurgency, but also to further seek collaboration in area of joint operation, including joint border patrol. President Buhari is expected back in Nigeria later today. A report just reaching us says President Muhammadu Buhari and his Chadian counterpart, President Idris Deby, Thursday in N'Djamena, reaffirmed the commitment of their countries to greater cooperation in the fight against Boko Haram. According to a communique issued at the end of President Buhari's one-day official visit to Chad, both leaders agreed on the need to quickly make the multinational joint task force fully operational to effectively combat terrorism in northeast Nigeria and elsewhere that Boko Haram operates. President Buhari and President Deby called on the international community to provide the Lake Chad Basin Commission and neighboring countries with all necessary support to combat terrorism and insurgency. Both heads of state agreed that the war on Boko Haram should be supported by emergency development initiatives in areas affected by this insurgency group. And President Muhammadu Buhari has acknowledged receipt of the Amnesty International report on Nigeria titled Nigeria Stories of Horror in Their Own Words. Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity to the President, Malam Garba Shehu, in a statement in Niamey, Niger Republic, said President Buhari has received the report, which she says contains many disturbing allegations. In a statement, President Buhari assured that his administration will study the document and act appropriately. He said without meaning to prejudice the outcome of any investigation, Nigerians needed to be reassured that his administration would leave no stone unturned to promote the rule of law and deal with all cases of human rights abuses. Respect for human rights and adherence to the rule of law are the life and soul of the democratic system, the president said. President Buhari assured that his administration will not tolerate or condone impunity and reckless disregard for human rights. To legislative matters, the House of Representatives has approved President Muhammadu Buhari's request for 15 special advisors to assist government in performance of its functions and has passed Petroleum Industry Bill, PIB, after an exhaustive session. Concerned by the loss of lives and severe injuries inflicted on many persons in a petrol tanker explosion in Anambra State, the House has urged the Ministry of Health to mobilize the area to provide adequate medical attention for those injured. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Okafor reports that the tenure of the 7th Assembly ends Thursday, the 4th of June. We'll bring you details of this report in our subsequent bulletins. On the other hand, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, says it has no candidate for the office of president or deputy president to the 8th Senate. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Olisa Metu, while speaking to journalists in Abuja, said the party will not interfere with the rules of the National Assembly. Ignatius Onko reports.
The decision on who occupies leadership positions in the incoming 8th National Assembly, especially the position of the President of the Senate and Speaker of House of Representatives, has been raging for a while now. This gave way for several conspiracy theories and insinuations. One of them is the perception in some quarters that the PDP has candidates for the positions. But through its National Publicity Secretary, the party refuted such allegation.
So the PDP has decided to inform the general public and Nigerians that the party has no candidate for the position of Senate President and Deputy Senate President.
The party said it has discussed with its National Assembly members-elect on how to become a formidable opposition.
What is important to the PDP at this critical time is how to offer alternatives and options to Nigerians on the policies and programs of the ruling party.
Olisa Metu reiterates the commitment of PDP to safeguard the mandate given to it at the state level. In Abuja, Ignatius Onko, NTA News.
Another report just reaching us on Boko Haram says the President Muhammadu Buhari Thursday in Jamena called on member countries of the Lake Chad Commission to redouble their efforts to intensify the operations of the multinational joint task force established to tackle the Boko Haram insurgency. Speaking at bilateral talks between Nigeria and Chad, President Buhari noted that the security of Nigeria and her neighbors was intrinsically linked, adding that this makes it very essential that they cooperate on security issues in a robust and sustained manner. The president said that he was quite certain that when it becomes fully deployed and functional, the NNJTF, which comprises Nigeria, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon, will be able to secure and stabilize all the areas affected by the Boko Haram insurgency. President Buhari also reaffirmed his conviction that with greater cooperation among Nigeria and neighboring countries, the Boko Haram insurgency will be brought to an end very soon. We bring you details of this report in our subsequent bulletins. Now, the President of the Court of Appeal, Nigeria, Justice Zainab Bukachulwa, has warned the Secretariat staff of all the election petition tribunals in the country to stay away from politicians in order not to compromise the petitions before them. She gave this warning at the commencement of her two-day training for Secretariat staff of election tribunals. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewa reports.
Coming about 3 weeks after election petition tribunals began to sit across the country, the training for the Secretariat staff of election tribunals is meant to instill uniform professional standards of practice in all the tribunals to enhance the dispensation of justice in election matters. But President of the Court of Appeal says this level cannot be attained if the staff throw themselves at politicians.
You shouldn't allow any political party or politician to compromise your integrity at any stage. And then do not allow yourselves to be used as tools to truncate the process.
Justice Mewada Abdullahi, a justice of the Court of Appeal Just Division, delivered a paper on the duties of tribunal secretariat staff as defined by the Electoral Act.
We are here not only to hear paper presentation, but to exchange ideas so that together we get enriched.
The training is a collaboration with the United Nations Development Program Support to Democratic Governance for Development. In Abuja, Femi Okewu, NTA News.
And with the 2015 elections concluded and the presidential and governorship inaugurations done, top functionaries of the National Orientation Agency, NOA, have converged on Abuja for a workshop to review the voter education program facilitated by the European Union. Chinedu Obike reports.
In the workshop, which is being attended by state directors of the National Orientation Agency, the Director General, Mr. Mike Omeri, says the experiences garnered from the 2015 elections stand the agency and the nation in a good stead to deal with future electoral challenges.
We had support from European Union through UNDP DGD2. So what we are doing is to review what we did, where we got it right, where we got it wrong, and how to improve.
The state directors who have come to the workshop with experiences peculiar to their domain also speak about the challenges they encountered in the process of mobilizing the people.
You find that our elections are unique. You need to educate the people properly because they have never gone into this sort of process before.
The topography of River State, it was very challenging, but we were able to surmount it.
Before we went into the field, people had this erroneous impression that they could still use their temporary voters' cards. It was the national orientation campaign that ensured that people understood that without the PVCs, there was not going to be any voting for them.
You know, another message is peculiar because of the seemingly level of political awareness in the states.
Representatives of the United Nations Development Agency, which funded the voter education program, are attending the workshop too. In Abuja, Chinedu Obike, NTA News.
The Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Shola Omole, has challenged its Directorate of Marketing on developing new strategies to improve its current performance for clientele owing to the stiff competition in the industry. It was at the National Conference of Heads of Marketing of the authority nationwide in Abuja. Chiazalam Ekie has more.
Looking back as the chief marketer of the Nigerian Television Authority, the Director General has been in the forefront for improving content in such a way that clients will key into the organization as a formidable one for information dissemination. Very remarkable for those in the Marketing Directorate as they strategize on how to take advantage of his reach as Africa's largest television network to make its impact felt by its teeming customers. The Director General, Shola Omole, says a lot can still be achieved if the Directorate strategizes on surpassing its current feats.
We're all supposed to work together to accomplish this objective. Because the truth of the matter is that the 13.5 billion that I'm talking about is not just marketing alone. Everybody has a role to play in ensuring that we can accomplish that objective.
The event, which began with an appraisal of performances, also set new targets in keeping with tune of evolving changes in marketing.
What we want to achieve is to ensure that our marketing staff, the NTA marketing staff nationwide, are in tune with the latest technology, then what to expect with digitization, and also to equip them with all that they need to face the competition.
Advertising is the first that suffers when budgets are being cut. So, being aware of that, we're already planning what ways which we can up our game.
The marketers also brought to bear some challenges confronting their operations, as we also asked to take advantage of ICT.
This kind of meeting is a meeting where we brainstorm on how to take advantage on what ICT is now doing. ICT is what is driving everything we are doing in our lives.
There was also an award presentation to deserving staff of the Directorate by the Institute of Strategic Customer Service and Trade Management. Chiazalam Ekie, NTA News.
This is news on NTA International, reaching you from Abuja, Nigeria. More news after this time out.
I believe in my country. The time is here and now to spread the message of hope. across the land. Stay together as one. All the obstacles would disappear. Let's open up our hearts. Let's open up our eyes and cherish this piece of the earth that God has given us. I believe in my country.
The Executive Director of the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, Professor Babatunde Oshotimehi, has urged the federal government to eliminate child marriage in order to reduce maternal mortality to the barest minimum in the country. Professor Oshotimehi stated this at the news agency of Nigeria, NAN Forum in Abuja.
Child marriage. Let's stop it. Because if you eliminate that, if you get the girls to go to school, stay in school to maturity, and you educate them and give them good nutrition and health, you actually reduce this considerably. Now, so I'm not going to blame the health sector for that. I'm going to say that the health sector, working with various other sectors, would have to work there.
Also citing early marriage as a major source or cause of vaginal fistula, VVF, among young women, the UNFPA Executive Director said the fund had globally assisted in rendering necessary support to the affected young women. He also stressed that the need for the expectant mothers to have access to quality health care should be of utmost priority. Trade relations. Now, trade between China and Africa has crossed over $250 billion US, and the statistics keep rising daily. This is due to intergovernmental trade and investment, as well as business deals and good trade business between Chinese and African businessmen in the south of China. Julieta Aina reports.
Fueled by trade, China's fast-growing economy has taken Africa in its stride as a reliable trade partner. China has become Africa's largest trading partner, surpassing the U.S. in 2009, and a volume of trade currently over $250 billion US and still growing.
Sony, no be Sony?
Sony, finish it. Merchants like Ahmed Abdullah from Nigeria make a huge difference in the rise and fall of this trade volume.
Come, you buy for cloth for baby. You come shoes, you buy bag, you buy head tie, all you buy. No be one market you buy. All you buy, plenty market. Which one you like, you move for market, you buy for you. These people you are from Nigeria, you ask me which one is better, you tell me. After me come here, you buy for these goods.
Abdullah has been coming to China for trade for over 18 years. He also visits Hong Kong and Thailand in search of variety in the goods. His contacts on ground helps to coordinate the bulk purchases, payments and compression of the goods.
Me stay for Zampara, from Zampara, you stay. You sell my goods for Kano, you another market Kantunkware or Koho Wambai. You sell my goods. You have people, you sell my goods is plenty. No be one man. You have plenty people. You sell for these goods.
For the price of $40 per bag, the goods are compressed to get the least minimum cubic space charge for freight transport. The goods take about a month to arrive Nigeria.
You know, inside here you have clothes for babies. Compression you put your baby. You have head tie. You put here me, you know, head tie. You write number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, each 10. You write. Me, you reach my country, you see number 10. Me, you know. what you say inside. After you compressor, you keep here. After you keep here, you have another man named Shafiu. All goods you reach my Nigeria, you see BK is my own. You carry, you pay Shafiu after you carry my goods.
As China-Nigeria trade volume crosses $16 billion, trust remains a huge factor in the business for Abdullah and other merchants like him.
My cargo is a long time here, so many customers understand my cargo. Like this is my big man, this is BK. And I also have many customers from Lome, Nigeria, and Niger.
This has enabled them to build a network between China, Nigeria, and other African countries that keeps the trade engine running smoothly. From Guangzhou, China, Julieta Aino, NTA News.
And scores dead in blast at petrol station in Ghana's central Accra, and 4 Thai soldiers killed in the country's south. Details of these and more with Obiageli Ugoke.
An explosion at a gas filling station in Ghana's capital killed 90 people, many of whom had sought shelter there due to torrential rain. A spokesman for National Fire Brigade said the blast was caused by fire that erupted in a nearby lorry. Dozens of people were taken to hospital after the blast. Meanwhile, Thai police say 4 soldiers have been killed in an attack on a rural road in the country's south. The soldiers were traveling in a personal car when a group of more than 5 suspected attackers opened fire on them on a road in Braman district in Yala province. Moving on, pro-Kurdish party seeks wider reach in Turkish vote as Turkey goes to polls on Sunday. HDP emerges as a crucial force in shaping the post-elections political scene. Voters in that country say Turkey's left-wing pro-Kurdish People's Democratic Party, HDP, is set to play a crucial role in the upcoming parliamentary elections due on June 7th. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
Guests on NTA's current affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria, say Nigeria requires a formidable football governing body that will be recognized by the law to rekindle the country's football potentials. This is as the World Football Governing Body, FIFA, is currently battling with leadership challenge as its president, Sepp Blatter, resigns in the wake of alleged corrupt practices. Salihu Abdullahi has the details.
FIFA's president, Sepp Blatter, stepped to restore confidence in the World Football Governing Body. The process, they added, will facilitate free investigation into alleged corrupt practices in FIFA.
This is a game that drives on the players. It is a game that survives on the followership of supporters. These two groups are not represented anywhere in FIFA. You don't. Sepp Blatter didn't play football. Hayatu didn't play football.
And that is why a lot of misnomers have been overlooked by FIFA. By FIFA regulation, by FIFA statutes, Nigeria does not today have a single football club.
Everybody forgets that FIFA is a non-profit organization. So it's the biggest and the most profitable NGO in the world.
They want similar reform replicated in the Confederation of African Football, CAF, and Nigeria's Football Federation, NFF, to boost Africa's soccer image and encourage participation by all.
To have a proper football governing body in Nigeria, what we need to do is, just as FIFA has done in Switzerland, is to incorporate this body we say is NFF, incorporate it as a Corporate Affairs Commission.
The issue of integrity has to be enshrined in the statute. We need to re-examine the statute, make it compliant with what is practicable.
FIFA is responsible for the organization of football's major international tournaments, notably the World Cup, which commenced in 1930, and the Women's World Cup, which commenced in 1991. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
More sports reports. Flying Eagles fly over North Korea to get back on track at the FIFA Under-20 Championship in New Zealand as French Open enters its business end. Let's join Ayodeji Makinde for these and more. Before we end the news, we take a look at the weather prospects in some Nigerian and world cities. And that's the end of the news. We're glad you watched. Bye for now.